Hi, everybody. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science. Welcome to our Thursday evening Hay and Holmes class. So any of you who are signing in on Zoom, I'm going to give you a moment because this is, as I look at the board, there's a lot of people that are coming into the call right now. I want to welcome you. The last time I tuned in, I saw that there were 7 or 8 new people coming in, so that's really wonderful. I'm glad you found us. To all our regulars who participate, I'm really glad you're here with us. And a special welcome to everybody who's watching us in all the places. I can't even count them now. From X to, it's X and Insta, and primarily Facebook and YouTube. Jimmy has given me many messages. We've had lots of questions. We did a Q&A on some of the questions, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been very challenging. Some of you have been going through a lot, and we're aware of that. We do our best to do affirmative prayers with you and for you. If you need help, call us. We'll do our best to put you in touch with whoever might be the right person. Or if you just need to have somebody to listen, sometimes that's very helpful too. So we're here for all of that. Announcements. Most of you know every Wednesday night we have a creative living series hosted by James, who's a practitioner here. And let's see, Thursday night is this night. It's the Louise self-healing class, which all of you are familiar with. That's the class that I've been doing for many years, decades. And it's always fun, and it's always new, and it's always probably the class that people really come to the most. It's the place where everyone seems to start. So you're all welcome here. And then every Sunday we have a lesson, a new thought lesson. I do lessons based on almost all kinds of sources, but predominantly Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind, because we're a New Thought Center, Louise Hay, but also many others as well. We do teach affirmative living here, affirmative prayer. So these are the types of things that we talk about and we do. So we have a huge virtual gathering, and thank you all for being a part of it. Thank you for making it successful. Everything we do that I'm aware of, all of our broadcasts are free. If people want to support the center, we really appreciate it. So in the chat room, there's options for people to support the center if you'd like to see us, expand and grow. So I know, I'm sure everybody does. So there it is. I'll add Raymond Charles Barker, our founder, said, "Please give us only your happy money." I don't know what that was about. I'll have to do a talk on that or try to figure it out. I think he was getting at you bless yourself and you bless the center when you give from a place of happiness. And if you don't, he would probably tell you don't do it. But that's just a guess. So let's get on with tonight's healing class. I've got a poem, short, and it ties into the title. In this moment, the world unfolds. In this very moment, a tapestry of now in threads of gold, each breath a story untold. In this moment where wonders hold beneath the sky, so vast and bold, in this moment our hearts unfold. The beauty of life in love's mold, in this moment our gratitude unfolds. For every joy and trial that's rolled, in this moment our peace is told. The present, a gift we uphold. In this moment, our spirits consoled. And so it is. The last lines of our poem bring us into this space. So let's carry its essence into a brief meditation, right? And this presence, a gift, right? Let's carry that line of our poem into this space around us. Carry it into a very brief meditation of gratitude for the present moment. Center yourself. You can close your eyes if you'd like. If you're comfortable, So let's take a deep, nourishing breath in and out. And we'll do it again, allowing our lungs to get filled, allowing the life within you to stir as you inhale and exhale. In the sanctuary of this very moment, reflect on your life. Reflect on the tapestry of your life. Think back on the moments of joy, the times of great challenge, the ordinary, or the seemingly ordinary times that, in retrospect, glow with an extraordinary light. Each of these memories, each of these threads is woven into the fabric of your very life, colored with the hues of experience, emotion, growth, wisdom. Allow your heart center now to swell. Let it be filled with gratitude for all you've been through and what you are aware of right now, this present moment, for the very breath that brings you life, for the love that surrounds you, for the love that surrounds you in ways you don't understand. Consider the beauty of the now, how it holds the echo of the past and the seeds of the future, the beauty of this moment, this glorious moment, this now. In this moment, in this new moment, you are part of the infinite. You're connected with the vast web of existence that stretches beyond anyone's understanding. Let yourself breathe in gratitude for the fact that you are aware in this moment. Let this gratitude expand within you, touching every corner of your being. And know that this gratitude within you is radiating out into the world, all from this sacred now. Let us give thanks for this journey that we're embarked upon, for the lessons we've learned, for the lessons we will learn, for the love that we share, and for the beauty yet to be discovered. Yes, we're moving forward, all of us, and there's more beauty, more love to be experienced. Let us be awake and aware so we can experience this beauty. Now, as we think of coming back into our lesson, coming back into the space that we share, this virtual space, hold on to this wisdom, the light and the peace of this meditation. Carry it with you as we gently delve into our discussion today, letting the gratitude for the present moment infuse our conversation, always with openness, love, and a sense of deep connection. And so it is. So today's discussion is about being in the now, being in a new moment. So I want to give a warm welcome, everybody, to anyone who has signed in. As we're going through the guided process, I want to acknowledge that this is the Church of Louise, First Church of Religious Science. This is also the Church of Raymond Charles Barker, our founder. So this is the place where it all happened, and it's still happening. I already mentioned it's wonderful to have you here. After everything we do, there's a time for discussion, and you can say, hi, I'm from Arizona, or I'm from New Hampshire, or wherever you are, if you'd like. You don't have to, but it's one of the nice things about all of our broadcasts is we're developing a community. So if you feel up to it, say hello. I know when I was younger in this, I seemed to always be shy, but I always liked listening, so take a chance. So Louise Hay said, the point of power is always where? Well, you all know the answer, in the present moment. So as I think about this present moment, or from the Course in Miracles, they used to say the holy instant. Very similar idea. As I think about how these ideas have impacted, and I think about the power that we have to change our lives, right? The point of power is always in the present moment. So it doesn't matter if you've been thinking a certain way for 10, 20, 30 years. And you can say, I've always thought this way. People tell me these things. My mother felt this way, my father felt, my people felt this way or thought this way. Okay. But we get to be in a new moment if we want to. And my mother used to say to me, one of her famous lines was, it's entirely up to you. And here's the thing. It is. I can keep doing things that are not too smart. All right. Maybe I just don't want to look at them. And, you've heard the expression, nothing changes if nothing changes. Or with computer slogans, they used to say garbage in, garbage out. So when we get into new thought, we have an opportunity to think a new thought. But in order to do that, we have to be conscious. We have to be awake. We have to have some moments that are new. We got to find a way to take a pause. Now, you hear us talk about that endlessly. We found that take a pause from I believe it was a Coca-Cola commercial from 1929 or something like that. It was the pause that refreshes. So we're always encouraging people in our classes to find a way to take a time out, to take a pause. Because if you're living your life just reacting to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, to the politics that are on TV, to what's going on in the grocery store, to how everything is changing, and you find yourself reacting to everything, then they got you. By that I mean, somebody's got you. So as you get into new thought, we realize that we are each centers of God activity. We are inlets and outlets of this divine energy. And we get to think our own thoughts. We don't look to other people to approve us. We do, as Louise Hay would say, she would say, self-acceptance and self-approval in the now are the keys to all positive changes. So she's not asking you to go ask your boyfriend what he thinks about this, or your mother. And she would say self-acceptance and self-approval in the now are the keys to all positive changes. She said in the now, right? In the now, in the now, in the now. So a lot of people aren't living their lives in the now. They're living in dread and fear. They're living in fear for what happens on Friday when so-and-so comes home and there's going to be a confrontation. They're living in fear that they won't have enough money to pay the groceries. They're living in fear for their health. They're living in fear about a lot of things, or they're all caught up in the past. They're holding on to a resentment. Somebody done them wrong in some way. Recently, I've heard some of our people, our members, having a tough time letting go of things of the past. And I can relate, or let's say I used to be able to, I've done it before. But the thing is, we're smarter than that now, right? Because the past is so gone. It's gone, 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 unless it's living within you still. And so then the thing is, something it's like a ship that sailed, but it's still in your harbor, and it's impacting you, and you are allowing it to hurt you. So we have to encourage you to let go, so you can be in a new moment. See, the new moment is really a beautiful idea. I remember finding it first, I think, with Ram Dass many years ago. He had this big graphic book about being here now. All the power, all the glory, all the good is in the now. And it's kind of tricky because most of us are all caught up in what's happening, not too far down the road, most of us. Or it could be with money, it could be with love, it could be with health, it could be anything really. Or again, we have a tendency to go towards the past. And when you're focusing on this automatic response type of thing, it's just like you're flying on autopilot. Your life will go by so fast, and you're not really being present for the moments. So if you can find the way to become more aware, more spiritually aware, lots of suggestions for ways to do it. A little bit of meditation. You could set your smartwatch or your watch to do it every half an hour throughout the day. Some of you do it with your smartphones. They used to tell us to go on a job, go into the bathroom and pray for a couple minutes. Just do something so you could have a reset. Because practitioners of this teaching are committed to starting to practice. And what you're starting to practice is seeing the good. Knowing that the good is here, knowing that the kingdom is here, knowing that the God is here, the kingdom of God, the kingdom of good is at hand. It's always at hand. So from the Course in Miracles, there's a line. Miracles are natural. They're always present. The kingdom's at hand. But when we're not experiencing it, then something's gone wrong. So in our teaching, we understand perfect place, perfect time, all the time. So we're centered in this realization that we are in the perfect place, perfect time. If you find that you're futurizing a lot, you're thinking about the things that could go wrong, there's an old acronym for fear, right? I remember that from a 12-step program. Fear, they will say, stands for false evidence appearing real. So we project all this stuff that hasn't even happened. And that, when we do that, it takes us out of the present. Now, in the present moment, you could be experiencing bliss. You could be like the monks. I used to go to the Krishna monks when I was younger and go to lunch at the temple. And I would listen to them chant all day long. And I would say, what are they chanting? Because I was curious always about everything. And they were chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna. And, it was like 6 or 7 different words that meant God or source. I'm going to promise you, if you were shifting your focus into the present moment and you were thinking about source or love all day long, you would be blissful too. So what we're not asking you to chant all day long or to be a mystic, just contemplating the divine. But what we're suggesting in this modern world, in this practice, is we just redirect ourselves gently and lovingly back to the present. Just bring ourselves back to the present and tell yourself, all is well. That's what Louise Hay would say, all is well. And she would go on to say many other things. I am supplied and supported. The point of power is always in the present moment. Now, I was challenging myself to think of a story or a character in my life that might flesh that out for you a little bit. And there was a member of my first church. My first church was built on, oh my God, it's South Beach. It was the worst place in the world to ever build a church, but what did I know? Usually when you're going to start a church, you're going to be in a neighborhood where there's families and children, and I put myself right into the part of Florida where everything was starting to develop and happen. But there was a lady, Joyce. I'm very fond of her. She came to our congregation well into her 90s. She always had a sparkle in her eyes, and I always knew she was up to something. And she would captivate every heart of every person that was in the group. And I had young people that, going from the nightclubs, and I had older people. I had everything. That was South Beach at the time. And Joyce was from England, and she lived a life rich in experiences, but also marked with many trials and tribulations. I remember her telling me she had lived through the endless nights of bombing of Britain and London. And she said she says she still lives in fear of, what they went through, never knowing if they were going to get through a night. Countless nights. And she navigated the challenges of life. She also happened to be a Jewish person, as I recall. And she had many colorful stories, but I do remember her always talking about the bombing and what she was doing to earn her money. And then she got into talking in our classes about how she had sabotaged most of her adult relationships, and she had totally given up on love, but she was happy. So, what could you say? She's a lovely old lady. She's in her 90s, and she was there, and she had her notes, and she's taking notes, and everything we say, like some of you, she was taking notes. And I bring her up tonight because in Joyce's later years, she found a path to heal and healing through the principles that we teach, the principles of affirmations. So Joyce was always working with an affirmation. She was always working on loving herself. And she told me that, I can't remember it all, but there were a couple of relationships, and she said she'd done with them. But she was working on loving herself. She says, I don't know how much time I have to get this right, but that was her practice. So I had a lot of characters in that particular church, and she was one of the more endearing ones, and she brought a lot of joy to the whole group. So she had a delightful British accent, as you could imagine, and Joyce would often share how she navigated her thoughts, her Louise Hay work, her self-healing work, with simple little statements. And I can't use her accent or pitch my voice, but in a British way, if there's a British person out there, you can do it for me. She'd just say, next, next. She would always say, dismissing any negative thoughts. So right in the middle of any class I'd be doing, whatever thought she'd be having that was negative, she'd be, next, next, So we're all used to her interrupting. And then the other thing she'd say, the two words, and the other one's cancel, cancel, cancel. So Joyce was canceling and saying next through just about anything I ever taught or presented. And she was smiling, and everybody loved her. She was doing the cancel to nullify any thought that didn't serve her journey towards self-acceptance and self-love. That was just her way. I'll do other things. I'll invoke Diana Ross and say, stop in the name of love before you break my heart. But Joyce was saying, cancel, next, next. One Sunday, so when we had her with us, probably a year or two at least. One Sunday, Joyce came in, she stood before us, radiant. She had flowers and things, and she was adorned, and I don't remember exactly what she's wearing, but she looked like she'd been to a party or something. She looked radiant, beaming with happiness. And she says, can I read you something? Meaning to our group, the church, and we said, yeah. So she started reading this beautiful thing, I love you, and I will love you, and all the ways I love you, and things like that. And she said, these are vows, my vows. And she announced that she had gotten married. I think it must have been Saturday, the Saturday before the Sunday. And a realization dawned upon us all. Joyce wasn't just sharing her wisdom, she was declaring her love and commitment, not to another person, but to herself. So this was a ceremony that I remember. Joyce that weekend with her friends went to the beach. They had a whole ceremony. I wasn't there. And she had a ceremony of profound significance held on the shores of Miami Beach. Joyce had married herself in a beautiful affirmation of self-love and self-acceptance with her own vows to herself. Her vows were a testament to a lifetime journey to realizing that everything we seek externally must be first nurtured within. I think I remember her saying, I promise to honor myself, to cherish my journey, to cancel every negative thought with love. In the now, I embrace the beauty of my being, the potential of my spirit, and the endless possibilities for me. And then she always would kiss her arm to end it all. And then she'd say, for in this love lies the key to transformation, to joy, to peace. So as I recall, everybody was speechless, the air charged with the recognition of the truth of Joyce's, what she embodied. She had discovered in her golden years of life that the holy instant of accepting oneself and loving oneself unlocks the doors that we never realized were even closed, because we function on automatic all the time. she really was working on herself, and she was taking every single thing that we said to heart, and she found the love she was looking for. That's all I can say on this. Joyce's journey is a powerful illustration of the miracles that await us in the present moment, if we can get ourselves in the present moment. If you have to keep going to the past and the future, you miss out on so much. As Joyce beautifully demonstrated, by choosing to love and accept herself, if we do that, we open our hearts to the infinite possibilities of the now, to a life of joy and fulfillment beyond any of our dreams. Joyce was a very funny person. I always got a kick out of her. She was fond of me. I was fond of her. Her story reminds me of the transformative power of self-love in the present moment. Just forget what happened yesterday. Forget it. Forgive it. Forgive yourself. Forgive everybody else. The point of power is in the present moment. I was a student of the Course in Miracles for many years, and there's a group of us that studied, that met every week, and there was this concept of the holy instant that was very important to me and to all of us at the time. It was described as a moment where time stands still, a moment where we're fully present and we're open to divine guidance and transformation. So, when Ram Dass will say, be here now, that's if you're able to do that, where you can be fully present without futurizing or going to the past, you're really, that's a place where everything's possible. We're fully present. We're open to guidance and transformation. So we can be going from looking for restoration to transformation. If we really want to. Healing can occur in an instant. It doesn't usually, but it can. It's just coming to that point of clarity, of knowing who you are, that you're an individualization of this source, this creative intelligence. You are one with the one. You are an individualization of all that there is. So this is what this teaching really brings you to ultimately, when you learn to love, accept, and approve of yourself, and you begin to learn the affirmative life. And when you learn to have positive expectancy, it meant no matter what is happening or no matter what someone is doing, you're going to have the consciousness of knowing this human being is doing the best that they can. This is where they are. This is their business. My focus and my concern is on transformation of my own consciousness and dealing with my own conversation, because everything that you think and say is causative. It's, as Louise Hay would say, what I put out comes back to me. It's so simple, yet we don't believe it, or we forget. Remembering and forgetting. So we want to be restored to this place where we, like children, where we can demonstrate easily, where we know life is responding to us. So we can have this transformative living if we really want to. So we want to reflect. I'd like everybody in the audience who listens this week to reflect on your own experiences where you've almost touched the divine, where you've had these serendipitous moments that'll give you chills and you think, oh my goodness, I'm in it, I'm aware of it, whatever it is, I'm a part of it. I remember having some of these moments. One time I was in Massachusetts journaling and contemplating Blake's poem, To See Heaven in a Wildflower and Eternity in a Grain of Sand. There's certain things I've done in my life that trigger this thing, and then you just you're there. You're experiencing bliss. And, it's greatly informative because you realize, there's another world than the world of them and us and action and reaction. There is this place where time stands still. I remember at another time, very early in my life, I got into a car accident. And what should have been where there was a collision in a split second, I promise you I had time to think 1,000 thoughts as that happened. And I thought, my goodness, time is a funny thing. As we learn to take these pauses and slow down and allow guidance, really wonderful things can happen for us. So much awareness can come forth. So how do you activate that type of living? Well, first of all, it's changing your thinking. As you change your thinking, you keep changing your thinking, you will change your life. I'm not saying this class is the answer to everything, but I will tell you this class is a very good class. To tune in here regularly, I heard a lady last week said she hates to come, and I'm thinking, yeah, I remember. I didn't want to go, but I knew I needed to go, and I went. And that would have been true of my recovery journey too. I went every day. And someone said to me 43 years ago, if you're too busy for this, you're too busy. And that was meetings, or the same would be true of going for my spiritual nurturing. I needed to show up. And I needed to show up where people would tell me how great thou art. People would tell me, there's something within you that's amazing, and life loves you, and would teach me how to love, accept, and approve of myself. So you got to want it. I've had many friends who say, well, I'm not like you, Greg, and I'm not like your friends. I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to deal with anything. And those folks who I've loved deeply are no longer on planet Earth. People who are in religious science who are working with this teaching usually are pretty strong people. They've been through a lot maybe, but they're here. They're like Joyce. Joyce was battered. She went through hell, the lady from Britain in her 90s. But my God, she turned into be something extraordinary. My little telling of her story is just a glimpse of what she was like. She was a teacher to all of us. So we're always here wanting to find ways to embrace the now. In the heart of this moment, in the embrace of our shared journey, we find ourselves now at the threshold of a profound realization. The significance of a holy instant. There's one right here. And the transformative power of the present moment. We always have this power in this moment. It's here, it's now, where the entirety of life is unfolding. In every moment, there's this opportunity for possibilities of existence. And usually, our spirit is talking to us and wooing us, inviting us to step into the fullness of our being. Be here now. Keep bringing yourself back. Tell yourself, bring myself back, bring myself back. Keep bringing yourself back. Everything is happening in the now. I remember people telling me all the time. When I was younger, people were telling me the past is happening in the now, the future is happening in the now is happening in the now. It got confusing for me. I'll talk about that more at another time. That's a whole nother subject. Ernest Holmes, our founder, a luminary in the landscape, the field of new thought, always said that life is always responding to us every second with every breath. It's an endless conversation, he said, a mirror reflecting not just who we are, but who we can become. Yet often we find this dialogue obscured by the smoke of conditioned thought, by the veils of agreements that we've unconsciously accepted. Now you might recognize that. That comes from Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements. He said we exist as light, we're beings of light and wonder. But this dialogue that we have, this wondrous dialogue, I know I am that I am, I'm one with the one. This dialogue can get obscured by the smoke of conditioned thought, by the agreements that we've taken on since we were children, the veils of agreements we've unconsciously accepted, the roles that we've accepted. I'm going to be the best little boy in the world, or I'm going to save this, or I'm going to be a caretaker. And we take on many roles when we learn to, through our, what we call entrainment, our early years in our families, and all of that. So Don Miguel Ruiz was brilliant, and in the Four Agreements, he's wanting us to get the smoke out of the way. All this debris gets in the way of us reflecting the light. Our perception, our reality becomes clouded, not by the world itself, but by the beliefs that we hold ourselves. So please don't try to change the world. What we learn here is change ourselves, change our thinking, and we will change our life. So our perception, once again, our reality becomes clouded, not by the world, because you turn on cable news and you just let yourself go. Our perception, our reality becomes clouded not by the world itself, but by the beliefs that we hold, by the committee of doubts that we have, by the fears that we have, by the old chatter that always goes on in our minds. You know, you hear me every week ask on every Thursday night, what's it been like being you this week? What have the thoughts been like? Have they been great? Have they been life-giving? Has it been up? Or have you been doing some version of ain't it awful and nobody understands me and how bad it is? And of course, sometimes you're going through a lot, and I get it. As soon as we find ourselves in those places, though, it's good to share where we're at and all, but we don't want to stay stuck in that type of stuff, because ultimately it's not going to take you where you want to be. So our perceptions, our reality can get clouded, not by the world so much as by what we tell ourselves. That's why when I ask every Thursday night, what's it like being you? I'm really wanting people to become more mindful of what it is that they're thinking throughout the day. I'm undoubtedly not acting like a Christian monk where I'm thinking God all day long. I will I will just think 1,000 thoughts, but I want to keep bringing myself back to the place of realization that I'm one with the one. I want to keep bringing myself back to affirmative living. Because I know, as Louise Hay said, what I put out there comes back to me. The challenge, and indeed our journey, is navigating through the mists of these conditioned thoughts that we have to touch the clarity of the present moment. So if you can set all that stuff aside and be here and now, if you can take that pause that we talk about and know that deep in the center of your being is this perfect life with infinite intelligence, and it's in you, operating through you, and it will respond to you. You want more of those moments? I know I do. I want to stretch them out a little bit. I know we remember that we're one with the one, and I know we forget, but I want to remember more often. Tuning in here more often can do you good. Watching the rebroadcasts on YouTube or Facebook can do you great good. Reading other spiritual material can do you great good. Listening to other like-minded people like we do on Thursdays and Wednesdays and Sunday can do you a lot of good. So it's that inner dialogue where the racket goes on. You've heard the racket. It's just all the chatter. Some people have called it recently the monkey mind. Other people for years have called it BS, which stands for belief system. So we have a lot of that stuff. There's a group I used to be familiar with, Landmark Education, among others, speaks of the racket that we have going on inside of us. That means all this stuff, all these things are distractions, they're illusions that pull us away from seeing the beauty of the now, of seeing the truth of what's here, and the wonder that you are, and the wonder that is right in front of you. But here, in the heart of our teaching, always is an invitation to touch the beauty, touch the power. The universe, Emerson said, would suggest is wooing you. There's an invitation to awaken to the eternal now, to say, and be here now, and take this sacred pause, this holy instant where we can truly see, experience, and feel the divinity. You can do it in another where heaven unfolds. You can sense it, you can see it in nature, you can do it when you say namaste, that which is divine in me sees that in you and knows that in you. These moments are not mere pauses in our day. They're the openings to the vastness of life, where you really live. It can open you to a profound truth that spirit is, in fact, the essence of everything that there is. Each and every week, we remind you to slow down. I used to like a song. I don't know if I like the song. I remember the song. Slow down, you move too fast. The lyric was, you've got to, or you want to make the morning last. You want to savor the moment, to relish the beauty of life that thrives in each and every new moment, that thrives in the spaces between our breaths. It's in these pauses, as we learn to take more and more pauses, these holy instants that we offer a namaste to the world, recognizing the divinity that's in it and within us. Louise, you know, she said, I love myself the way I am, but she also said, I love the world the way it is. She had complete faith that everything was fine, that the world is evoluting along in the same way we are. Here, redemption is not about salvation from the outside, but a restoration to the truth of who we are. And the awareness, I am one with God, I'm an individualization of God, life, and source, and awakening to the ever-present love and light that's always been our essence. So, today's journey today, let's hold this truth close to us. We possess a power that's unimaginable, beyond measure, a potential that can only be unlocked in the now. Through affirmations, through meditation, through mindful release of criticism, we edge closer to this place of realization. It's never about perfection, it's always about presence. It's a presence. It's about the effort to be here, truly here, now. That would be the challenge for today, is to invoke my British friend Joyce. Next. Whatever you have to do to stop the negativity, or say cancel, or stop, as I do in the name of love, to bring yourself to a place where you stop so you can be here now. Everything's in the present. And we can talk more about that. You can expand your whole sense of time by being more fully present. As we think about today's lesson, and this is a lesson we can expand upon further, we could do a workshop on, I've done before. Let's take it all in. It's about time to transition. I've already been given the sign over to from the lesson to our wonderful group, your time for sharing. Let's take a moment, though, to pause and reflect on the profound importance of being present, of being in the now. It's in these moments, these precious snippets of time, that the essence of our existence unfolds. And we can be present to them. It's where the infinite creativity of the universe touches our lives directly, and we can be aware. Living in the now is not just a practice, it's a celebration of life in itself. Each and every moment is unique, never to be repeated. All are an opportunity to experience the fullness of life and being, and to connect deeply with the flow of life that courses through each of us and around us. When we stop and we're still and we anchor ourselves in the present, we open ourselves up to the wisdom of the universe, we can experience the boundless possibilities that are here. This presence, this infinite source of love and creativity, is where transformation occurs. We've always been one with the one. Here and now we're free of illusions that time has cast upon us, that our childhood has cast upon us. We're free of all of that. And as we now prepare to move to the second part of our gathering, let's carry forward with us the light of this understanding, the warmth, the wisdom of being fully present. Let's take a deep collective breath. Let's inhale the vibrant energy of the now, and exhale any remnants of resistance, releasing them back into the flow of life. I'm going to do an affirmative prayer. Let us move into this affirmative prayer with our hearts lifted with joy, the joy of the present moment. In this moment, in this sacred moment, we affirm our oneness with the universe, the source of all that is. We celebrate the divine flow of creativity, love, and peace that permeates every aspect of our life. Here and now, we declare our openness to the endless blessings that are here in this moment, to the infinite possibilities that await our recognition right here and now. We're grateful for the beauty of this moment, for the opportunity to be fully present in our lives, to experience the depth of our connection to all of creation, In gratitude now, we embrace the wisdom, the love, and the joy that fills each moment, this moment, knowing that we are supplied, supported, and loved by the universe itself. And as we move forward together, we carry the light of the present within us. We share this light with the world, knowing by being present, we contribute to the healing and the upliftment of everyone. And so it is. So as we transition from this space of reflection, affirmation, we turn our microphones gladly over to you, our cameras too. We invite you to share, to say hello if you're new, where you're from. And let's continue this wonderful exchange of the insights and inspirations that you have. Let's keep the spirit of the now alive in our hearts as we move forward together, one by one, in wisdom and in love, in the present moment. Thank you.